You were listening to Charting Wealth's Training and Trends for Thursday, July the 30th, 2015. The training we're going to start out with is what we learned from SPY today. What is SPY? Well, it is the Standard & Poor 500 ETF. It tracks the S&P 500, that is 500 big companies on the American exchanges, the NYSE. So let's look at what's actually going on. What do we see? Well, we see that there has been significant down move over the two prior candles to the candle that was setting up today. These are two-day candles. We have a down trend line that we drew beginning on the candle starting on the 23rd of July and the 27th. The candle that we have today setting up on the 29th. And again, each of these candles represents the three candles represent 6 days. Each candle represents 2 days. What do we see happening on the MACD? That is what's really important. It is our indicator. The indicator is the primary impetus we have for knowing which way the market is going. Crossed over going up on the 2-day chart back on the 15th of July, tracked up substantially, fell back over starting again on the 23rd, and then down to the 27th on Monday, and then we started seeing it bounce back up again. It actually bounced off the MACD signal line. What does that mean to us? Well, here's what the training's all about today, and this is the kind of stuff we love. If this works out as it appears to be working out, and remember, we use the charts as a roadmap to help us forecast what's going to happen in the future. A green candle over the last 2 days, that candle is important because it shows us a great deal of down movement, but then a big push up. So the down movement is, of course, pushed down by the bears, pushed up by the bulls, and in fact it went higher and the bears were able to push it down. Where did we settle on this 2-day candle? Well, it was an up move. Technically for the day, again this is a 2-day candle, but for the day the SPY was up 0.69%. Now we see that the MACD has bounced off the signal line. What does that tell us? Well, it means that we're moving back in an upward direction. Even though we have two candles for the last 4 days prior to this candle that were down, we've got to bounce up off the MACD. Very important to us. What do we do now? Well, we're looking possibly for getting into a trade on the SPY going up. Now, since we have movement that's been charted going up on the MACD, we want to go back from the 2-day chart. We want to go to the 4-hour, the half-day chart. What do we see happening here? This is really interesting. We're getting close to a crossover on the MACD. Hasn't happened yet. May very well happen tomorrow. When that happens and the candle closes, bingo, that tells us that we have a double crossover going up on the 2-day chart and on the 4-hour chart. Now, that's significant and important. Not only will we see this crossing through if it happens tomorrow, going up, it's also crossing the 50-period moving average line, which is again another nice signal. Also, we have our 2-day trend line that's showing up on the 4-hour chart, and if we push up through that at the same time we cross going up, that is a very good sign that we've got a potential nice up trade to get into. Let's watch that as we get into the market tomorrow. And if you see all of those things coming together, look to get on your virtual trading platform, wherever it might be, and buy SPY and use this as a training session. Or you might say, wait a minute, shouldn't I use real cash? Well, we don't give stock trading advice. We give educational teaching. And we would encourage you to, of course, virtually trade. When you get very good at trading and you feel competent to make your own decisions, you make those. We don't make those decisions for you. This is a lesson. We think it's a very good one. I want you to pay attention to it and see if this sets up picture perfect. Now again, none of this is guaranteed. That's the one thing you'll learn as a trader is to expect, and an investor, to expect the unexpected. But if this sets up as it appears to be setting up, it might mean that you can get in and have a really nice up move and see your virtual account flood with money, which is exactly what we want to see happen always. And again, be ready at a moment's notice to pull the plug and not lose money if things go in the right direction and then turn over. But again, this is setting up quite nicely. Now, quickly, let's go through the other charts. We're going to range back out to the 2-day chart. We're going to look quickly at the IYY. What do we see? Well, it actually over the last 8 days has had 3 down candles, and today about the same thing we saw in the SPY. Actually on IYY crossed over going up. We want to also watch that to see if we see a crossover through the 2-day trend line and across on the MACD on the short chart. That would tell us that we're getting a nice setup. SPY, we've already gone over. The Qs are still in an uptrend. We've got a 2-day trend line there. If you look at the 4-hour chart, you're getting close to a cross. Also, a push through on the 2-day trend line, and not as close as the other charts are on the 4-hour MACD. So keep an eye on that. Now, lastly, let's look at gold. Where is gold? Let's go to the 2-day chart first. We look at gold. We see gold is still in a confirmed down move, crossed over going down back between the 19th and the 23rd of June. It has continued to move down. 3 good strong candles, a great trend line that we drew. However, over the last 2-day candle, we see that it has penetrated that down move. If we range out to the 4-hour chart, we see that, of course, it has a confirmed move up and has crossed through the 2-day trend line. Now, we're still in a confirmed down move on the big chart, so it doesn't mean that we're in for an up move on the small chart, but it is something to pay attention to. Gold may have reached its bottom, as we've been talking about, since around the 23rd or so of July, so keep an eye on gold. May have reached its bottom, may start picking up some steam, moving up. So keep an eye on that. That is where the markets are as we go into Thursday, the 30th of July. Hope that you enjoyed our lesson. The trends that we explained to you today, we love to hear from you. I do want to tell you that if you are a serious student, if you are someone who really wants to know more about investing, email us if you wish to receive our daily reviews and forecasts. You can email us at chartingwealth it's cw@chartingwealth.com. I'll review the forecasts and get those out to the serious students and investors that we accept. We must personally hear from you and evaluate your request. And again, cw@chartingwealth.com. Thanks so much for listening. If you're serious, we'd like to hear from you. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, chartingwealth.com.